Most turbo diesels don't die from age, they die from mistakes. Not dramatic breakdowns or blown engines, but small, invisible choices that quietly wear them down every single day. From how you press the accelerator to how long you let it idle, each action slowly shortens your diesel's life. Here's the truth. A well-maintained diesel engine can last 400,000 to 1,000 miles, according to Cummins Inc. Yet most never make it that far. Not because of parts or power, but because of habits. These engines are built for endurance, but only when treated the way they were designed to run. Today we'll expose the real-world mistakes that silently kill turbos, injectors, and fuel systems, and show you how to fix them before they do real damage. If you care about keeping your engine strong for years, hit subscribe now and let's start protecting your diesel the right way. Mistake number 1. Ignoring your MAP and MAF sensor calibration. Your turbo might be fine, but your sensors are lying to it. Modern diesel engines rely on two critical sensors, the MAP, manifold absolute pressure, and MAF, mass airflow. Together, they tell your ECU exactly how much air and pressure the turbo is producing, so the computer can match the right amount of fuel. When these sensors get dirty or miscalibrated, your engine's brain starts guessing, and it guesses wrong. A fouled MAF sensor underreads airflow, making your ECU inject less fuel, killing power and efficiency. A clogged MAP sensor overreads boost pressure, forcing the turbo to work harder than it should. The result? Poor acceleration, smoky exhaust, higher EGTs, and eventually premature turbo wear. Every few months, inspect and clean these sensors using only approved MAP sensor cleaners. Never brake or carb spray. And if you replace your air filter or turbo components, always reset your ECU's learned data. It's the easiest way to make sure your diesel breathes and boosts exactly as it was designed to. Mistake number 2. Laboring your engine at low RPMs. One of the fastest ways to shorten a diesel engine's life is by laboring it, forcing it to pull hard at very low RPMs. Many drivers think staying in low revs saves fuel, but in a turbo diesel, it does the opposite. When you apply heavy throttle below the boost range, usually under 1500 to 1800 RPM, the engine struggles to create enough airflow. This leads to incomplete combustion, carbon buildup, and excess heat that quietly damages pistons, bearings, and the turbocharger. Think of it this way. Your engine needs to breathe. More throttle at low revs means pressure without air, like trying to sprint while holding your breath. Instead, drive within the turbo's sweet spot, roughly 2000 to 3000 RPM, for most diesels. That's where boost, torque, and fuel efficiency balance perfectly. So shift down early, keep revs healthy, and let your turbo spin freely. A diesel that breathes right lives longer, runs smoother, and rewards you with consistent power for years. Mistake number 3. Skipping ECU reset after maintenance. Modern turbo diesels are smarter than ever, but that intelligence can backfire if you don't reset the ECU after major maintenance. The engine control unit learns your driving habits, sensor readings, and fuel trim values over time. When you replace filters, sensors, or even clean the EGR and intake system, the ECU still uses the old data, assuming the engine is still restricted or dirty. That means the computer continues adjusting fuel and boost based on outdated information, leading to sluggish throttle response, uneven idling, and poor fuel economy. A simple reset tells your ECU to relearn from scratch. Most vehicles allow this by disconnecting the battery for 10 to 15 minutes, or using a basic OBD2 scanner to clear adaptive values. Afterward, take a 10-minute drive under varying loads so the ECU recalibrates correctly. Ignoring this step is like giving your diesel new lungs but never teaching it how to breathe properly again. Mistake number 4. Neglecting intercooler condensation drain. The intercooler's job is to cool compressed air before it enters the engine, improving power and efficiency. But few drivers realize it also collects condensation, and that trapped moisture becomes a hidden threat over time. When water builds up inside the intercooler, it corrodes aluminum fins, restricts airflow, and in severe cases, sends water droplets into the combustion chamber, causing misfires or rough starts. In humid or cold climates, this issue grows worse, especially if you frequently take short trips that never let the system fully dry out. Every few months, remove the intercooler drain plug or lowest hose connection to release any trapped fluid. You can also check for oily residue, which signals internal leaks or turbo seal wear. This 5-minute inspection prevents corrosion, restores airflow, and keeps your turbo breathing clean, cool air, the way it was engineered to perform. Quick reminder: if this already helped you avoid one mistake, hit subscribe now. Your diesel will thank you later. Top of form. Mistake number 5. Using the wrong oil specification or skipping oil analysis. Oil is the lifeblood of every turbo diesel engine. It lubricates, cools, cleans, and protects the moving parts spinning thousands of times per minute. Yet, one of the most common mistakes diesel owners make is assuming all oils are the same. They aren't. Every manufacturer designs engines with very specific oil chemistry in mind. Using a generic or incorrect oil spec can quietly destroy your engine from the inside out. For example, modern diesels equipped with DPF systems require low SAPs, low sulfate ash, phosphorus, and sulfur. Synthetic oils, such as VW4WSS, M2C913D, or ACAC3. These formulations prevent soot buildup and protect emission control system. Using a non-approved oil leads to clogged DPFs, accelerated camshaft wear, and failing turbo bearings due to poor heat resistance. The turbocharger, spinning at over 200,000 RPM, depends on a steady flow of clean, thermally stable oil, and the wrong one burns, breaks down, or carbonizes fast. Another costly mistake is relying on oil color to judge when to change it. Diesel oil turns black quickly because it's doing its job trapping soot, but color doesn't show its health. That's where used oil analysis comes in. For the price of a dinner, a lab can tell you if there's metal wear, fuel dilution, or coolant contamination in your oil. This data-driven check can prevent $1,000 repairs before they start. Always change oil at the interval recommended for your engine. Use OEM filters, and let the oil circulate for 30 seconds before revving or driving hard. The right oil, maintained, is more than fluid. It's your engine's arm. Mistake number 6. Not cleaning the turbo vane actuator linkage. If your diesel suddenly loses power, shows an overboost code, or goes into limp mode, don't panic. Your turbocharger might not be failing at all. The real culprit could be the variable geometry vane actuator, a small but vital mechanism that regulates exhaust flow to control boost. These vanes adjust position constantly while you drive, fine-tuning how much exhaust gas spins the turbo. But over time, soot and carbon buildup can make them sticky, especially if the vehicle is driven mostly at low RPMs or short distances. When the linkage sticks, the turbo either overworks itself or can't produce enough boost. Both lead to excessive heat, poor performance, and fuel waste. Unfortunately, many owners and even some shops misdiagnose this as a bad turbo and replace it unnecessarily. The fix is often simple maintenance. Every few months, after the engine cools, inspect the actuator area. Make sure the linkage arm moves freely by hand. It should glide, not resist. For prevention, a small application of high-temp lubricant or penetrating oil keeps soot from seizing the mechanism. In severe cases, remove the actuator and clean the linkage with manufacturer-approved solvent, following the service manual closely. Never force or pry the parts. Precision matters. Keeping this small mechanism clean ensures smooth boost response, faster acceleration, lower exhaust temperatures, and years of extra turbo life. A 10-minute inspection could save you from a 2,000. Top of form. Mistake number 7. Interrupting DPF regeneration. Modern turbo diesels are technological marvels, powerful, efficient, and remarkably clean, but they depend on precise, automatic systems to stay that way. One of the most expensive mistakes diesel owners still make is interrupting DPF regeneration, often without realizing it. The diesel particulate filter DPF traps soot from the exhaust, and once it's full, the engine automatically raises exhaust temperatures to burn that soot into harmless ash. This process, called regeneration, is essential to prevent clogging and maintain power and efficiency. During an active regen, you'll notice your idle jumps slightly higher, around 900 to 1000 RPM. The cooling fans may run at full blast, and your exhaust may smell hotter or sharp. That's your engine cleaning itself. If you shut it off mid-process, the soot remains partially burned, turning into a hard layer that slowly clogs the DPF. Over time, back pressure increases, the turbo works harder and fuel economy drops. Eventually, the check engine light appears, followed by reduced power or limp mode. Replacing or professionally cleaning a blocked DPF can cost thousands, yet preventing it costs nothing. If you sense a regen starting, keep driving for 10 to 15 minutes at steady highway speeds until it finishes. For city or short trip drivers, take your vehicle on a longer highway run at least once per week to encourage a full burn. Also, resist idling excessively after a regen. Let the temperature stabilize, then shut down. This small habit can save you thousands and extend your diesel's life well beyond 3. Mistake number 8. Overlooking the crankcase ventilation filter and fuel return lines. Two of the smallest components in your turbo diesel engine can cause the biggest headaches if ignored: the crankcase ventilation filter, CCV, and the fuel return line. The CCV filter's role is simple but crucial. It separates oil vapors from the air inside the engine before that air is routed back into the intake. Over time, this filter becomes saturated with oil mist and soot. When it clogs, pressure inside the crankcase builds up, forcing oil vapors into the intake system. The result is sticky sludge coating your turbocharger, intercooler, and sensors, slowly suffocating airflow and confusing the ECU's reading. Meanwhile, fuel return lines often go unchecked for years. They carry unused fuel back to the tank, but when varnish, dirt, or microbial growth builds up inside, it restricts flow. That extra pressure makes injectors and the fuel pump work harder, leading to rough idle, poor starts, and inconsistent fueling. These symptoms often mimic expensive issues like injector failure or bad compression, but in many cases, the cause is simply neglected line. To prevent this, inspect or replace your CCV filter every 30,000 to 40,000 miles, depending on the manufacturer. Clean fuel return lines annually, using diesel-safe cleaner, or replace them if brittle or darkened. A clear breather and unobstructed fuel path keep your turbo spinning freely, your injectors efficient, and your engine balanced. These small maintenance habits separate a tired diesel from one that feels factory fresh, even after hundreds of thousands of miles. Final thought: the diesel longevity blueprint. Every turbo diesel has two stories: the one you drive, and the one you protect. The truth is, longevity isn't luck, it's awareness. Most engines fail, not because they're weak, but because small mistakes go unnoticed for too long. You've now seen how simple maintenance, cleaning sensors, checking filters, letting your turbo cool, and respecting the DPF can make the difference between a costly breakdown and an engine that runs strong for decades. Treat your diesel like a system, not a set of parts. Every sensor, line, and filter is connected. When one suffers, all do. A few extra minutes of care today can save thousands tomorrow. Keep learning, stay alert, and drive smart, because a well-maintained diesel doesn't just survive. If this guide helped protect your engine, hit subscribe now and keep your diesel running at its best, mile after mile.